All right, I'm back live with another episode of the Jags Cast. Um, it's a real late Texans post game. I was feeling under the weather, in my last video, so hopefully it's a little bit better this go around. Um, yeah, man, we in a bad spot, and I guess it's time to just have some real talk. I'm just gonna freestyle this one, and really have no set topics or anything like that. I'm just gonna try to cover what I think is needed, to be said at the moment. Um, that was a tough game, obviously, because it pretty much, well, not even pretty much, it put the nail in the coffin on the season. So there's nothing to look forward to now but the draft. So a lot of people probably happy about that. Me, not so much. I even though our fan base, in a sense, we kind of accustomed to the losing seasons, you know, but in the same breath, I'm like, me personally, I'm through with that, and I'm at the point now where we have seasons like this, I gotta show my frustration because you know, deep down inside, I do feel frustrated, and I don't. I mean, me personally, I'm at the point now like where I'm realistic and I'm not like hurt about it, but there is frustration because we at a point now to where, and especially when the owner is saying stuff and people you know, I would say generally, throughout the league, people was starting to see a kind of a upturn with our franchise. But, me personally, I've seen enough over these past couple years to where I kind of understand where we at with everything, and this goes all the way back to some of my first videos that I made on here where I was voicing my concerns about paying all the money to the franchise guy or so-called um I was concerned about just, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, like he was the main thing I was concerned about, just knowing how he is and how he tends to lose football games, so I kind of was, semi expecting a topsy turvy type season, up and down type, season, but overall, I expected the rest of the team to kind of be able to uplift, or I thought maybe Doug had the answers with Trevor. That's what I was preaching a lot on my older videos, about how this season was gonna be on Doug. So I thought he had found the answer and figured out how to tame them in, but obviously not, and I don't know if that's more so because he's handicapped to have to try to showcase Trevor, or be, you know, almost forced in a sense to call plays or tell press to, make sure that Trevor meets some type of numbers or accolades, or I don't know, because it is a business and there is other things behind the scenes that that go on and that factor into decisions and play calling, and so I'm not 100% sure on what the I guess the game plan or what the focus was, set for the season on that. But I'm just at a spot where, man, where me personally, like, I kind of feel like I know in a sense what our issue is, and it kind of sucks to have to. I mean, I'm almost at the point where I'm ready to tune out. I'm not going to, because mainly because of this. I wanted to try to see out, a full season of, making my YouTube videos and, voicing my opinions. And, maybe this is a good point to try to, I guess, give better content and give better details, and maybe be the one that can really shed some light and, some real understanding and real truth, behind and besides all the, blah 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 nonsense talk that you're gonna hear throughout the rest of this season and off season about who needs to be fired, who needs to be changed, what needs to be different, the defense, the O line, the everything. But you know, me personally, I feel like the main cause and main issue, that we having in our inconsistency. I really believe deep down inside, I really believe that the coaches, probably Balky, obviously, and essentially, obviously Shy too, because he said it. But I really believe that the management and the upper guys, I really believe that they thought in their heart of hearts that they had a team that was set for success this year. Now, that first game, I'm not gonna lie, I hated for ETN that he fumbled, but you know, I don't want to say that set a bad tone or bad tempo, but I don't know, man. Now looking back in retrospect, it kind of let us know that we were gonna be in for one of those type seasons, like to where the unknowns was going unknown, the what ifs was going to happen, and I feel like partially, that could happen in any season, or from time to time, that can happen. But just that first game, maybe if, but that's so far behind now, and I just hate it for him, man, especially for his season, because I can't even really sit here and speak positives on his year. When I was saying that, you know honestly, I felt like we had the roles backwards with him and Trevor. I felt like ETN should have been more of the focus opposed to Trevor, almost a la how the Saints do it, with Kamara. He's more, excuse me, he's more of the focal point, of their offense. Even though Carr is a competent quarterback, you know, it's almost like, I don't know why I use that example, but I just feel like that's probably one of the best examples, of just, how I kind of see it. But yeah, man, and then I guess, I guess I'd be remiss if I didn't speak on the Trevor hit, the dirty play or whatever. That sucked. you know, you know, obviously you don't really want to see that on no sides or no players if possible. You know, it's a violent game, and sometimes those things can happen, and sometimes as bad as this gonna sound, you know, maybe sometimes the intent wasn't malicious, even though the actions, you know, pointed that way. You know, not defending that guy because I don't know, maybe he did have some ill will toward Trevor, you know, and he laid the boom on him, but I don't, you know, I mean, in a perfect world, you know, we would be able to try to just avoid those type scenarios in all situations, but they happen. Um, and in our circumstance, you know, me personally, I just find it ironic, you know, just the whole scenario of it. You know, it almost seemed destined for him. You know, like you missed 2 games, now you're trying to come back. You know, and to be honest, this might not sound good, but I would almost say that getting knocked out of that game may have saved you more trouble or more criticism, because from the looks of it, you know, before that hit, man, it looks like you were headed towards another mediocre, you know, to below average game or a bad game. You know, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was definitely less than 100 yards passing, but I think it was pretty bad. Like the stats were bad, like at that point, you know, and we obviously weren't winning or even close. You know, we came back, you know, and made it pretty competitive with Matt, you know, so, but I don't know, man. It just, to be honest, man, it looked like we was headed, you know, straight for what we used to seeing with them, you know, another terrible game, you know. And me personally, you know, it's like I'm at the point now where you know, I've heard him quack like a duck, you know, look like a duck. So I mean, I'm almost at the point, you know, me personally, like I have to just be honest and be like, it's just a duck, you know. And I mean, I've been that way, you know, with him, you know, but even now I think maybe I'm getting to the point to where all my optimism of finding a way around his weaknesses, maybe I'm starting to lose optimism in even finding a way around it. Sorry, I'm, like I said, I'm getting over this cold, you know, was under the weather and stuff. But um I think I think we just, and at some point, and it's gonna suck because like I said, you know, I made previous videos on how the fan base is divided and torn, you know, on Trevor. And I mean, it sucks for the ones of us, you know, who obviously see what's going on and, you know, are actually believing with our eyes and what we've been watching, you know. So it sucks for us that he's already been paid and, you know, they've already made this commitment and investment, because, you know, for those of us, you know, and I'm saying us because I'm including myself in this category of people, you know. I mean, I obviously would like for him to do well because he played for my team. So I mean, I don't have a personal vendetta for to see him do bad every week. It's just that's what I'm used to seeing. So I mean, I can't. I'm not one of those people who gonna continue to make excuses for Trevor. You know, now that part is is commonly, accepted now amongst the fan base that even even the ones who not gonna change their mindset that he's great and he's, the best thing since sliced bread, I mean, even those people, have come to the realization that sometimes they do have to come up with excuses for him. I mean, they're gonna keep doing it, but I've heard them say it, like, oh well, you know. So I mean, I don't even want to make an example, but I've heard it, through different platforms and videos and just different stuff. I've heard it to where, it's like, man, it's like we playing some type of weird game, like how long can we wait to say, oh yeah, I told you so. I told you he was great. I told you but it's like, man, this finna be year 5 now, and me personally, with a year like this just screams that we did the wrong thing, that you don't just pay somebody who hasn't delivered anything for you. You just don't do that, and it's kind of it's crazy because Trevor's actually kind of overshadowing other players that we need to be evaluating who got paid, as far as like Josh Allen and Tyson Campbell and, Alua and just different other players who didn't got money, Arms. Oh my God. I don't even know. I don't even want to mention him. But, it just, come on, man. It's bad. And, I just look at a few of these games this year. Even when we were doing bad and not playing good games, we come down and have a chance to still win the game, but we can't. I mean, we just can't get a clutch moment, out of our quarterback. We just can't get consistency. We just can't get, $275 million worth of money. We can't get that type of product, that type of, I don't know. We just can't get it. And it's sad, man. It sucks. Excuse me. But I'm just at a point, man, where I don't want to be at, which is having to think about drafts. I actually did a mock draft the other day, and it sucked because I did the little mock draft. I don't even think I went past the first round. I just made a trade back. I'm just like predicting, what we gonna do. And if we do lose out or whatever, secure this first pick, if we get Travis Hunter or whatever, because obviously we're not gonna draft a quarterback, which I mean, I don't really see why we shouldn't. Matter of fact, I will bring up that mock draft because I did the mock draft and I traded back. Think I don't know. I want to say it was a Raiders or somebody traded up to pick 1, and they traded from pick 2. So I traded back 1 pick, collected some seconds, thirds, and different whatever they sent me, right? And so basically, I let the first round play out. I take Travis Hunter at number 2. Let the first round play out all the way to pick 32. And they had the mock draft thing. It had the Lions at 32. So it's saying they think Detroit gonna win it this year. So we'll see. And obviously we had the first pick, so we had pick 33, the first pick in the second round. So I just did a swap, and they had the quarterback from Alabama, Milrow or however you want to say it. I don't know. I'm not an Alabama fan. I'm a Gator over here. But yeah, they had him all the way at pick 32, and me being me, I'm not sold on Trevor. I said, oh, okay, that's pick 32. You get the fifth round option. I swap picks with Detroit, move up a pick, last pick of the first round. I'm taking a quarterback, you know, and then, that was just my little way of playing it out. But me personally, I feel like we should do something like that, to where it's like it's not obvious that we giving up on Trevor, but I mean a good GM, man, hey, you might want to have that ace in the hole, man, because this is getting out. This is just getting outrageous with Trevor, and it could get to the point to where, you know, and this is what I honestly hope for, especially, because like I said, I'm a big believer in God, so I know God, he already know the future. He done seen it. And I just want to win, man. I want my team to win the Super Bowl, We ain't never won that. So, and we one of the expansion franchises, so we haven't had as long as everybody else to do it, but I still want to do it. I want to see it in my lifetime. So, whatever it takes, whatever the future looks like for us, I just want the best for my team. And if that's moving on from Trevor or having something, an ace in the hole, getting ready to, in case, we have to in the future, I'm sure they probably not going to do it right now, but I don't see a problem with, developing a quarterback, just having a backup plan. I mean, at this point, man, I don't see how anybody can be sold on Trevor in any capacity, whether it's, I mean, that now at this point, this is 2 years straight of injuries and, bad play, bad decision making, turnovers, fumbles, interceptions, injuries. We watched you get concussed and look like Tua for about 5 seconds. I don't know if you conversed or whatever, but it didn't look good, man. And it's at the point now where I think us as a fan base, we need to start just, having some real questions, because right now the sentiment amongst the fan base is just fire Doug, fire Trent, make Shy, hire some people that's gonna win. But I don't care who it is, man. If it's Ben Johnson, if it's Bill Belichick, if it's whoever, man, I don't care who you bring in there. Offense, defense, you can gut the whole coaching staff. You can get rid of Trent Baalke. I don't care what you do, man. If you still put 16 back there, and literally we could have the absolute best draft that is possible. We could get Travis Hunter. We could, make some trades. We got some draft ammunition. We could move back in the first round. We could pick up some seconds. I don't know, whatever the best case scenario for the offseason is. Free agents want to come. I mean, you name it. Whatever the best case scenario is, you can name that, get it completed, and we still start the next season 0-5 or 1-10, whatever. And in every game, it's the same thing over and over. A overthrow, or, Trevor trying to spin out and fumble the ball, and, just the same stuff. Like I'm me personally, I almost feel like, and I've watched this all the way back to the Urban Meyer year, where literally when he's around, sometimes it's just like it's almost like he's a cloud, like a cancer for the team. Like And my theory, I almost want to put it to the test this week because almost like my mind is telling me that the team is pretty much giving up. They don't really have nothing to play for. They just trying to collect their paychecks, act semi-professional, halfway try and just get the game over with, get out of there without getting injured and get their money. That's kind of what I'm seeing and expecting from the team, but I partially feel like, and this is weird that I'm feeling this, but I almost feel like just the fact that Trevor's on IR and he's not gonna play no more, and I don't know if he actually gonna travel with him and be at the game, but if he don't, if like let's just say for instance he's not at the game today and nowhere around, like I almost feel like, man, the team might just almost look like world beaters, like Super Bowl contenders today. Like we literally might dominate the Titans. Like, I mean, none of us gonna be surprised if the opposite happened. If we get dominated and we could just chalk it up to, yeah, we just trying to lose and tank and get out of here. But it's like a weird part of me that now that we need to lose, I feel like we might start convincingly winning, like on some weird, like, you know, how does this how does this math add up to where, after the quarterback is out and on IR and now just everybody's playing awesome and, just everything is just clicking and going well. And, you know, instead of every time we get the ball at half and then we're going 3-and-out, and every time we start a game, we can't score and we're going, just turn over, just all the negative, just all the bad stuff. It wouldn't surprise me if it just all flipped, to where it's just almost like what we got used to in that 2016 season, how we just got used to week in and week out just dominating people. You know, I mean, those were good times, man. And I probably need to speak about those times, and because it wasn't that long ago. It was, but we still, if you're a fan, we still can vividly remember them days, beating Baltimore 52-6 and getting 5 interceptions on Ben Roethlisberger, just that type of stuff, those type of vibes. It's been a while, man, and ain't gonna lie, ever since Trevor stepped foot, as our quarterback, it's been, like I said, and I'm gonna bring this up a lot, man, because you know my mama is a witness. She watched me watch that game, and I was just really just upset and scared, almost in a sense, to pick him number one. But I knew we were gonna do it anyway. But when that his last college game, man, that's literally what we've been watching, like, for his whole NFL career. And matter of fact, I'm gonna go watch it again after this. After I do this video, I want to go watch it myself again, and just verify that what I'm believing and what I remember is correct. Is it's just been not good, and I don't know, man. I'm anxious to, I guess, anxious to watch how these last 5 games go. There's nothing to really, be overly excited about, because even if we win, it really don't matter. The season is over. And in a sense, I guess, I mean, I can never be mad at winning, but it it would almost maybe upset me just a tad bit, to win. And then it's like, okay, even when we we got the number one pick and maybe some type of something to look at to be like, okay, well, at least that's a positive. We can control the draft or whatever, We might not even do that right. We might start winning games and lose our way out of that. So it's like I don't come in looking to lose, but I don't know. I wouldn't mind a real close loss or something, but it's just a bad spot to be in to have to watch. But and even trying to evaluate young guys, I don't know how many of them they're gonna really play, and who's to say that if we change things and fire coaches and change GMs, who's to say any of these guys are gonna be here anyway? Like, excuse me, like anybody who's not being paid the big bucks could be, obviously could be released or, just moved along, so it's very few people even to watch besides maybe I guess like a Mason Smith or, a couple guys to see if they get some playing time or see, if there's anything that we can kind of look forward to. I mean, we know what we got in BTJ, you know, we have no clue even about some of the other people, because teams gonna change every year. So, but like I say, we do look forward. I mean, I didn't even say we look for it, but we know what we have to look forward to. We know that we're gonna have the same quarterback. So, I mean, Lord knows, what the next year is gonna bring. I mean, I don't know. Like it sucks to even start thinking or wondering about all the other factors, coaching staffs and GMs and stadiums and jerseys and you name it, just whatever else other than the quarterback, you know, involving the Jaguars, it's at a point to where, I mean, can you really rest your hat on anything? Like if we change and get rid of a Super Bowl winning quarterback, I mean not quarterback, but coach, might I add, Dougie P, he didn't won a Super Bowl before, so I mean we can't say we just got a scrub at coach, Um, Trent has been with winning organizations. I mean, at least, he could say he's been around with people that win, and I don't know, man. If we bring, I mean, I don't care who it is, you name them. If we bring anybody in to fill any position, besides who's hiking the ball and throwing those crucial interceptions, that's sealing victories for the other team. That's literally he literally can write L on our schedule by himself. Like literally, when they do the stuff on the news and put the L's and W's, y'all should let Trevor walk in and just write it up there. L. Yeah, I threw that pick to N'Kobe Dean, or I fumbled the ball, or I got sacked. Just doing retarded stuff. We praise him if and when the very few times that he has an awesome game. That's like what, twice a year, maybe 3 times a year out of 16, 17 games, where people come out and say, yeah, look at Trevor, like, come on, man. Like, I mean, let's be serious, man. Are we trying to, what is this? Like, are we trying to win, or are we trying to just literally go through a season to prove the people wrong who saying stuff about Trevor? But we literally been watching this stuff for years, and we on year 5 now, and this finna be our what? This finna be our second time picking number 1 with Trevor as our quarterback. If I'm not, was it second? 1 year we got. It's at least the second. Trayvon came right after Trevor. Yeah, so this would be the second year. You know, if everything stands as put, that we're gonna get the number one pick after we drafted you number one. Like, come on, man. Like, and who can really say, and if you can, how much money would you bet on it? Who can really say that they guarantee we won't have it again next year? And think about that. Just I don't know, man. It's not good, and that just I feel like we got a lot of real things to talk about. As this season concludes and we have more storylines to break down and go over with the rest of the team, we'll cover that. But really the main thing, I think as all Jags fans right now, because everybody's pretty much like probably feeling like me, just ready to just throw the whole thing away. Might not even want to watch the games. It's really tough to even want to watch this stuff now. But um, you know, everybody who kind of still has some interest, I guess the main thing now is let's just watch it play out, see what else we can kind of have to talk about or think about. And our big question should be, man, like I don't know, like just I guess because like I said, man, I don't think anything else matters, man. What we do, but it's gonna be a lot of other stuff to kind of distract us from the main situation. But I just want everybody to really think like, are we set with playing this Russian roulette type of football from now on, and to where we don't know if we'll win 10 games or lose 10 in a row, or I don't know. It's tough, man. And like I said, man, I think I've seen enough, but I just feel like as a fan base, man, I think that's really the only thing that's really gonna matter. But let's see. I guess let's just give it some time, and then we can maybe get to a point to where we can find some other things to distract us and get us off of what we're gonna come right back to at some point. But yeah, man, let's have a good game. Let's just I don't know, find something to watch in this Titans game. It's still Go Jags, it's still Duval. And yeah, let's just watch it, and let's come back. I mean, it sucks that I'm just rushing right into the game. I really don't even have a preview that much. I mean, like I said, we're just watching to see if we can see something to, I don't know, talk about, or something to, discuss and give us optimism, give us some hope. But, like I said, me personally, until we really start discussing the main problem and how we're gonna move forward with that, I feel like everything else is just BS, and it's just something to cover up. It's like Band-Aid. So yeah, man, let's just enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? And we'll get back with it on the next time of the Jags cast.